Vince Carter has spent 22 seasons in the NBA from the years 1998 to 2020, from ages 22 to 43. He's also played for 8 different teams. These teams include the Toronto Raptors, New Jersey Nets, Orlando Magic, Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks, Memphis Grizzlies, Sacramento Kings, and the Atlanta Hawks. In this video, we are going to rank every version of Vince Carter from worst to best. Coming in 8th place, we have Sacramento Kings Vince Carter. Vince spent 1 season in Sacramento, playing 58 games during that season. This version of Vince comes in last because this team finished 12th in the West with a 22-55 record, and Vince averaged his career lowest 5.4 points per game. He was 41 years old during this time and was definitely playing more of a veteran role, as he only started 5 games and mainly came off of the bench. Landing in 7th place is Atlanta Hawks Vince Carter. Vince played his final 2 seasons in Atlanta at ages 42 and 43. In his best season there, he averaged around 7.4 points per game, and in his final season around 5 points per game, a total average of 6.3 points per game. Now, much like the Kings, this was definitely a lottery team, as the Hawks finished 12th in the East in 2019 with a 29-53 record and 14th in 2020 with a 20-47 record. However, since Vince was able to stay on the court longer, playing more games per season than he did in Sacramento, and had a slightly higher scoring total, he ranks just above Kings Vince even though he was older, thanks to his current health and efficiency. Ranking in 6th place is Memphis Grizzlies Vince Carter. Vince spent 3 seasons with the Grizzlies from ages 38 through 40. During his best season there, he averaged 8 points per game and overall averaged 6.9 points per game. He also helped this team reach the playoffs multiple times while in Memphis and was really productive in the postseason. He averaged 8 points per game overall during his Memphis playoff runs and 11.3 points per game during his best postseason in Memphis. This Vince is easily better than Hawks or Kings Vince, but going forward, the rest of the options have averaged double digits and played for many more successful teams. Coming in 5th place is Phoenix Suns Vince Carter. Vince spent 1 season with the Suns during the 2011 season, where they finished in 10th place. They had a 40-42 record. If they were an Eastern Conference team instead of a Western Conference, they would have clinched a playoff spot, beating the 8th seeded Pacers, who had a 37-45 record in the East. Vince played in 51 games during this season, starting in 41 of them. He averaged 13.5 points per game on roughly 42% shooting. He was 34 years old during his time in Phoenix, and had he stayed there longer, or had more success, or was healthier, I would have ranked him ahead of Dallas. Speaking of which, landing in 4th place is Dallas Mavericks Vince Carter. Yes, this version of Vince is a little older than Suns Vince and averaged slightly less points at 12 points per game, but this version was much healthier, as for 2 of the 3 seasons, he was able to play 81 out of 82 games, and even in his lowest games played season, which is his first Dallas season, he played 61 games. That's 10 more than his only season in Phoenix. From a physicality perspective, the Mavericks Vince Carter and the Suns Vince Carter are similar, since they are both post-prime declining Vince Carters, but Mavs Vince Carter was healthier and was able to help his team reach the playoffs twice. He averaged 12.6 points per game in his best playoff run with the Mavs. If you consider Magic Vince Carter a part of his prime, then Mavs Vince was the best post-prime Vince Carter, but many would say that Magic Vince is right when he started to exit his prime. Which brings us to 3rd place, and at 3rd place we have Orlando Magic Vince Carter. It's easy to rank Orlando Magic Vince Carter in 3rd because it's clear as day that he's better than any of the aging and older Vince Carters, and he's definitely not better than pure prime Nets and Raptors Vince Carters. Vince played 2 seasons in Orlando, averaging 16.3 points per game overall. In the 29-2010 season, Vince helped Dwight Howard and the Magic go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they fell short to the Celtics. He averaged 15.5 points per game in that postseason. And now for the real debate, Raptors Vince Carter versus Nets Vince Carter. And from a perspective, you could say that there is no wrong choice. You could make good arguments for both. Do you prefer on-court talent or a stat sheet resume? If you quickly glance over the stat sheet, you would pick Nets Vince Carter to be the clear first place choice, as overall, he did average more points per game, But even from a statistical argument, if you don't include the rookie Vince Carter season, Raptors Vince has both the best stats and was more physically dominant. Both are physical dunking machines, and I'll get to first place in a bit, but in second place, we have New Jersey Nets Vince Carter. Vince spent 5 seasons in New Jersey, made the All-Star team 3 times, though for one of the All-Star selections he spent a portion of the season in Toronto, and averaged 23.6 points per game overall. In his best Nets season, he averaged 27.5 points per game, and in his deepest playoff run, he made it to the second round. And in first place, we have Toronto Raptors Vince Carter. Vince spent his first 7 seasons in Toronto, averaging 23.4 points per game overall, but 27.6 points per game in his best Raptors season. He also won a dunk contest while wearing a Raptors jersey in the year 2000. He made 5, technically 6 All-Star games. The 6th one he spent a portion of the season with the Nets, but regardless of where you want to put that one, he made most of his All-Star selections while wearing a Raptors jersey. Now, if we put stats aside, you could make the on-court talent argument that you would rather have a 28 through 30-year-old NBA player over a 24 through 27-year-old NBA player, since in a general sense, an NBA player's prime would be more so 28 through 30 rather than 24 through 27, but when it comes to physically athletic players primarily, I would argue that since Vince relied heavily on athleticism, much like say Dwight Howard, his real peak prime was from ages 25 through 28, most of which was spent in a Raptors jersey. So overall, the ranking goes 8th place, Kings Vince, 7th place, Hawks Vince, 6th place, Grizzlies Vince, 5th place, Suns Vince, 4th place, Mavericks Vince, 3rd place, Magic Vince, 2nd place, Nets Vince, and 1st place, Raptors Vince. Let me know what you think of this ranking and which player you want me rank next. Don't forget to dunk on that like button and subscribe with notifications turned on. I'm Rebound Rewind, and I'll fast forward to you later.